So this video is basically about my competitive life as a solo athlete. And when I say a solo athlete, I mean there's team sports like basketball that I played, and I call team sport like soccer, basketball, American football, and I call extreme sports or adrenaline sports like surfing or mountain climbing. Adventure sports a lot of extreme sports or adrenaline sports are adventure sports, but they're not necessarily they have like distinct categories, or they're not necessarily one is one part of the other or whatever. But this is going back to my life as an athlete. So I think in my family, coming from my grandparents, there was a lot of musical art. There was artistic inclinations such as music. That was the main artistic inclination, and there were a lot of intellectual inclinations, not so much business. I mean, business can be an intellectual inclination because if like you're a business academic, like you publish a lot of business papers, that not necessarily because you want to make money. But if we look at, so there are a lot of intellectual inclinations, some music inclinations, and some sports inclinations. So both of my parents were like competitive athletes, like they did quite a lot of sports, and they always encouraged me to do sports. So my father was actually a state champion tennis player, and he always encouraged me to do sports. And this is something that really it had an impact on me, because since I was young, I was like a swimmer. And I did quite a lot of competitive swimming when I was young, and I ended up being part of getting a gold medal in 100 meters breaststroke. I mean, I got them in relays. In relays is an accomplishment to get a gold medal at the national level in my category. It wasn't like I was the country champion for 100 meters breaststroke. It was only my category, but it was quite an accomplishment. And my time was 1:33 in 100 meters, and I was like maybe like 10 years old. And then the other two that came in afterwards, I still remember one of their names. One that was called Loaiza, maybe Fabian Loaiza. I was so scared of him in the competition, even though he was a lot smaller. He was from Cartago in the Juegos Nacionales de San Ramon. We were all 133. So it was just milliseconds that really created the difference. But afterwards, I kept doing, I surfed a lot, so I had the lungs to be a surfer. But I also did several other sports. I started doing triathlon. I remember I competed at triathlon with my mom in Carrara, which was quite cool. And I remember still competing with her and just seeing her run by and she waving at me. And then I did another competition with her, which was like the 3,000 meters in open water in Punta Leona, which was kind of cool. Like, especially my cousin is my cousin and his sister and his brother-in-law. They're all competitive swimmers, and they just dedicate themselves to physical education. I have other cousins that have this physical education. So really, sports is part of the Costa Rican culture, and it's very common in my family. I remember going out in mountain biking trips with my cousin and my uncle, everybody out with their bikes, etc. So it was like a very healthy, positive pastime in our families, in my family. And I think my dad's side of the family, there are some sports, not as much, but my dad has always done quite a lot of sports. So I kind of forgot about surfing for a while, and I basically dedicated myself to becoming a naturalist, and then invested quite a lot in the States. But there was a time where I just felt like comfortable enough. I was in Austin, Texas, and I had like all this like income coming in from the university, and the sun was great in Austin, and I just started training and training and training and training. This was a very exciting time. I got this really nice bike, and I actually this happened about 12 years ago, but 2 years ago I was in Austin and I did quite a lot of bike riding all the way from the center of Austin to Lake Travis, which was I kind of have like an endurance heart. Like I'm not that good with sprints. So I ended up competing in this triathlon. I forgot it was a sprint. I want to say it was Olympic triathlon, and they had like a generic name, and I was probably the first one or the second one to come out of the water. At the time, I really didn't care. It was all about, I had like other priorities at the time, like my girlfriend and my studies were like my main priority. So I really didn't look too much into the fact that I was like